The basic premise of cargo cult is that tribal ancestors, the foundation of the islanders' indigenous religions, are the source of all material possessions, which are now being controlled by the white. Certain rituals must be enacted to mollify the ancestors and to redirect the flow of this cargo back to its rightful recipients. In order to develop these rituals, the cult members observe, interpret, and translate the behavior of the white people. They build runways in the middle of the jungle and put fires along the sides of them to attract airplanes. Western military insignia and marching formations easily transmute into religious iconography. National flags are raised upside down. Wooden guns are produced, and meaningless drill team marching commands are used during cult celebratory marches. These actions often include seizing all productive work, dancing all night long, destroying the crops and killing the pigs to demonstrate sincere belief in the imminent arrival of cargo. But clearly, this behavior is deeply rooted in the so-called big man culture of Melanesia. These big men secured their outstanding position basically by organizing a number of big parties in course of which they gave away all their possessions. This kind of festive competition traditionally helped to organize the production and distribution of material wealth in a society with no ruling class or means of storage. A field is only a temporary clearing in a slash-and-burn fallow cycle. A house lasts less than a decade. Tools and clothing must be constantly renewed. A material good, in general, is less valuable than the knowledge by which it is produced. Cargo is the spiritual mechanism itself which can deliver these desirable objects to those who can comprehend it. Details that could throw doubt on your interpretation must be given if you know them. If they don't want to support you under those circumstances, then that's their decision. This is what Richard P. Feynman, physicist and Nobel Prize winner, said in 1974 in his commencement address at the California Institute of Technology, the academic home of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, in short, a place where they build cool stuff and use it to study the universe. In his speech quoted, Feynman is making an appeal to the future scientists to respect certain scientific ideals, such as truth and transparency. The easiest way to explain this idea is to contrast it, for example, with advertising. How do you attract foreign investors? Tell them what you think they want to hear. Feynman is talking contemptuously about what he calls cargo cult sciences, which are theories that don't work because they lack scientific integrity. From his point of view, cargo cults can be understood as an example for a way of thinking that is aimed at the gaining of material wealth only. But just as in the American UFO contactee cults of the late 1940s, the transmission of higher knowledge and culture seems to be an important dynamic in the cargo cults. The major concern of some of them is the achievement of wisdom in general. One aspect of cargo activity is the building of wooden huts for cult members to sit in, with bamboo radio shacks, sporting wooden antenna to receive messages regarding deliveries of cargo. GI radio commands such as "Roger out" are preserved as an oral tradition and passed down through the generations. Leaders ritually manipulate massive telephones, constructed of white datura flowers. Reading, like dreaming, serves as another means of knowledge access. Completely illiterate natives read passages from American photo-illustrated war brochures. The Melanesians have their own conception of knowledge, which is an inspirational rather than a creational one, a knowledge which is passed down rather than made up. Knowers don't invent or create their ideas. Knowers receive ideas from supernatural or external sources. Life magazines brought by the GIs contain photographic proof that in America, black people lived surrounded by refrigerators and cars in the kind of consumer paradise which the islanders had been striving so far unsuccessfully to obtain. Refrigerators are not available to everyone. Neither is empirical knowledge. And usually, during the process of communication, empirical knowledge turns into something far more interesting. Ritual knowledge, on the other hand, most definitely exists as restricted group property, protected by secrecy, not by transparency. In Melanesia, speculation ran to the effect that the Bible had been censored, that the true name of God was being deliberately withheld, that Jesus, who gave cargo to the Europeans, was in fact the son of Killy Bob and now held prisoner in or above the city of Sydney. Cargo cults can be seen as an attempt to cut through the Westerners' network of information flow and through the web of lies being spun by the missionaries and colonial authorities. One important and long-standing cargo prophet from New Guinea was named Yali. A sergeant major in the Australian Army, Yali was brought to Australia for further Special Forces training. During an official visit to the Queensland Museum, Yali observed how a ceremonial mask was exposed in a glass case for the Australian public to approach in hushed tones. The same mask the missionaries in New Guinea had called the Mask of Satan. Eventually, Yali came to the conclusion that the Queensland Museum was actually Rome, which was where the missionaries had abducted the original New Guinean gods in order to obtain control over the secret of cargo. Yali was also taken to the zoo, where he saw many kinds of strange animals being visited by the populace. He was shown a biology textbook with a drawing showing how monkeys and apes had evolved into humans,